I guess we don't need this anymore. Oh, watch this video real quick.
Mardi Gras ship. Soaked wet carpet seeping out from under his shoes.
Imagine stepping on board your Christmas cruise that cost you $6 grand. And this is the condition of your stateroom for the entire week. Well, that just happened on Carnival's flagship cruise ship, and the cruise line has refused to pay up for this soggy problem. Let's roll the intro. Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. It's your Captain Corey. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. And let's get things kicked off with a question of the day. Question: have you ever had any problems with your cabin on a cruise ship? And what were they? Let me know in the comments down below. Now let's get into this story coming out from Port Canaveral, Florida. A family was left soaking wet and very frustrated when they found themselves stuck in their $6,000 suite on board the Carnival Mardi Gras with a nasty, wet surprise. Now, the family in question, they're named the Kulas, and they booked their dream cruise, 7 nights around the holidays, going to San Juan, Amber Cove, Grand Turk, you know, everywhere we all want to be right this second, I would assume. And it seems even this amazing itinerary wasn't enough to make up for the condition of their cabin on board the Carnival Mardi Gras, one of the flagships of Carnival's fleet, I might add. According to Carnival Cruise Line, the Mardi Gras had a small number of cabins that recently were impacted by heavy winds and driving rains, causing flooding, that kind of thing. Now, this is all stemming from that massive storm system that went through the southeast about a week ago now. You know, the one everybody was talking about here on the cruise news, canceled ports, cruises to nowhere. That is the time frame that this impact occurred to the Mardi Gras, causing flooding in some of the cruise ship cabins on board. And unfortunately for the Kula family, flooding in the suite they paid $6 grand to upgrade into for this cruise. Now, obviously, upon boarding the cruise ship, getting to their room, the Kulas found it to be, well, musty smelling as soon as they opened the door. And clearly dudes, hey dudes, were making quite the splash in all the wrong ways. Did you ever wonder why the Mardi Gras and the carpet went to therapy? They felt their relationship was just too soggy. So upon finding out the condition of their very expensive suite was completely unacceptable, the Kula family asked to be moved to a different cabin, a pretty reasonable request. And this is where their problems turned from bad to worse. And I'm going to tell you about that as soon as I remind you that if you got a cruise on the books, or you just love cruising and you know it's inevitable you're going to be going on another one, well, it behooves you to prepare ahead of time for that cruise to make the most of your vacation by spending a few minutes now in the Midships Amazon store. Oh yes! In there, you can find the best cruise essentials, everything I love to take with me every time I cruise. Check it out. There's a link in the description down below this video. So where were we? The Kula family were splish-splashing like a family of ducks in their soaking wet suite on the Mardi Gras. That's when they decided to take their problems down to guest services on the ship. And that's when guest services told them that they were unable to move the Kulas to a different cabin. Because while this is a Christmas cruise and Santa likes to give gifts, well, the Mardi Gras was fully booked, so there'd be no gifts, no other rooms on the ship for this family. Mardi Gras was packed full of 6,500 guests for that week. So with nowhere else to go, the Kulas were stuck in their pond. I mean, their sweet cabin for 7 nights. A situation that Scott Kula, Mr. Hey Dude himself, described as a total disaster. Scott, I'm a big fan of Hey Dudes. I own several pairs myself. I'm not making fun of you, just for the record. I just like the fact that you featured your Hey Dudes on the local news. That's how I heard about this cruise disaster. Now, Scott went on to say that if Carnival could put a roller coaster on a ship, they should probably be able to seal the doors properly from rain. And you know, Scott, water intrusion happens to be a major problem for a lot of cruise lines, Carnival in particular. So you would think that with a sold-out cruise ship and the foreknowledge that people were about to enter a $6,000 room that was woefully inadequate to house them, well, you would think that Carnival would have had the forethought to reach out ahead of time to the Kulas and let them know, hey, there's a problem with your room. Would you like to try to reschedule this cruise, or are you okay with, you know, tiptoeing your way through a soggy room for the week. We're not going to be able to move you because the ship is sold out. But Carnival did none of that. And to add insult to injury, they didn't even offer a refund or future cruise credit to the Kulas. It's not like this happened as a shock and a surprise during the Kulas cruise. Carnival was fully aware there was a problem before they allowed the Kulas to board the ship, which means this is 100% a Carnival Cruise Line caused problem. 100% an issue that should be compensated for to these guests. In my opinion, and in the opinion of a lot of experts, this should be a 100% comp room with a 50 to a 100% future cruise credit as a result of the conditions that Carnival willingly put these passengers in. But the problem is the Kulas have not received any refund for their cruise as of the time of this recording. The only thing they've received was some onboard credit on day 6 of a 7-night cruise, which is about 5 days late and $6,000 short, if you ask me. You know, you've got this family who booked a very nice room, who spent a lot of money, and they're sitting there with carpet dryers blowing, running for 10 hours a day. The Kulas actually had to go ahead and pay even more money to rent a private cabana upstairs on the ship so they would at least have a place to put their things down, a quiet place to go to during the day, because, well, that's what your cabin is supposed to be. And obviously their cabin was really not available to them for essentially the entire cruise. What do you think about this? Are you as upset as I am that Carnival would knowingly put guests in a room that was actually flooded, and actually flooded way in advance of embarkation day? It doesn't matter if this was a regular balcony, a suite, or even an interior room that got water intrusion. There's no excuse for this. We as cruisers, we expect to get, at a bare minimum, a dry place to sleep. And if the cruise line doesn't provide that, then in my opinion, the cruise line has completely breached their contract with you as a cruiser. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. Please make sure you get subscribed if you haven't already, if you never want to miss these timely, fun, and sometimes interesting cruise news stories. Also, hit the thumbs up if you want to stand in solidarity here with the Kula family in asking Carnival to do the right thing and send that refund check immediately. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today, and until tomorrow, we'll see ya on the Midships.
La 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 la.